Okay, good morning, everybody. We're continuing with Unit 1, Exploring Genius today, and we're going to focus at the end of our unit, which is focus on speaking. So basically, after our Zoom meeting today, you will be done with Unit 1 for listening and speaking. Okay, now, before we continue, very important to know is that all the vocabulary that you will be using for your speaking tests are right there in your textbook at the back of your book. Remember that you use that vocabulary in your speaking test, in your speaking project, basically. And we can just take a look real quick. That is on page 211. Let's just go there for a sec to see. Yeah, and this on this page, here we see the words that are all in Unit 1, but only for listening and speaking. Remember that for reading and writing, you have different words, okay? Reading and writing has its own vocabulary, has its own grammar, okay? And you have to use the vocabulary in grammar in your speaking project, in your speaking test, as you have to use the vocabulary and grammar for reading and writing in your essay, yeah? Now here you have some words that have an asterisk, like achievements, interact, objective, revise. Okay, these are words that are on the academic word list, which is called AWL, and those are the academic words. So you have a mixture of some general words and academic words, but also maybe phrases that show expressions or ideas. So the point is for you to use this. Okay, now here, quick look, your grammar means that for Unit 1, the focus is on passive voice. We will be talking about that today as well. And it is important that you use this and the vocab in your speaking, which this week, if I'm not mistaken, let's take a really quick look. This week, it shows us that our focus here is on recording and practicing our speaking project. So this is for your log, means this is for your speaking project, yeah? And so today we're gonna finish the last part of Unit 1, focus on speaking. And after the meeting, you will do a post-test, which you can access by going to the ebook of listening and speaking. Just only go to the contents, don't go, scroll through the book, that's confusing. Just stay in the contents, go to Unit 1 and scroll down to the announcement of post-test 2, just click it and it brings you exactly where you need to be. Yeah, so after today's Zoom meeting, your post-study will be focusing on the ebook for reading and oh, I'm looking at the wrong one, sorry here. The post-study will be the ebook of listening and speaking, and you will do the activities of focus on speaking. Also, again, go to the ebook of listening and speaking. In the contents, just go to focus on speaking and click the summary. Read the summary first and then do the activities. Your pre-study this week as an independent self-study for next week's Zoom meeting, watch the video that I already sent last week and do the activities in your textbook for reading and writing. And step 6 is the preparation for your speaking project. Record your speaking, practice it, record it, and you can submit it in your log. You put it in your log, remember that? Your speaking test goes inside your log. And then to upload to the log, you go to your ebook for listening and speaking. And then you go to Unit 1, and the end of Unit 1, there you have the log submission. There is a Google form link which you will open, and then there you can submit your speaking test in the log. And so you do that also for your writing, that is submitted inside a Google form, which is in your ebook. So you only submit the form, and by submitting the form, I automatically get your homework. Yeah. Okay, so the grammar here is the passive voice. So remember that for reading and writing, you can do the same thing. You just look at it again to figure out where we're at. Okay, great. Now that brings us today to page 13, because that's where we're at. And as a review for our vocabulary, basically in the last part, which is focus on speaking or focus on writing, the vocabulary for the whole unit is reviewed. As in listening 1, you have a part of the vocab, listening 2, another part of the vocab, and focus on speaking, we will review everything. Okay, now, if there's anyone in IPS 1 and 2 who would like to annotate or knows how to annotate the answers in Zoom, please be my guest to do that for me. That helps me a lot. And for the class secretaries, please do not forget, note who is late and who is absent today. All good? Yeah? Okay. Now, then we're going to go with the review. Here you see noun, verb, adjective, and adverb. Can someone tell me what this is called in English? What is it called where you have these different parts? Noun, verb, adjective, adverb, all together. What is that called? Who can tell me?
Part of speech.
Awesome. That is called part of speech. Very good. So basically, we would normally just refer to it with capital letters. So we would say POS, right? Which clearly shows us part of speech. And the part of speech can be very different for each word, and which actually also refers to another word that we have, which is called word family. Okay, let me just, you see that here? So we've got POS, which is part of speech. In it, we have nouns, verbs, adjective, adverbs. So one word can have different forms. So that's what we call word family. Word family is one base word, but there are a lot of other words that are related to that base word. So we have multiple words that, you know, connect together, and they all have the same root, the same base form of the word. Yeah, kata dasar yang sama, but they have a different form. So either when they're noun, verb, adjective, and adverb, that's what makes all the changes. Awesome. Great. Okay, now we're gonna look at this. Who would like to start out? Achievement, noun. A lot of nouns have ment in it or eon in it. A lot of adjectives, and a lot of adverbs have ly, and a lot of adjectives have able in it as well, or ed. Megan, would you like to start with achievement? Can you do tell me what the verb is?
Achieve.
Awesome. Can you type that in?
Wait. Can I do that? Oh, I cannot type. There's a pen, but like I can only draw.
Okay. Is there anyone else who could type in it? Who would want to voluntarily do the annotating today? Do I have myself a volunteer? No? Oh, so sad. Oh boy. Okay, then I'll gotta do it. Achieve? Yep.
Achieve. Sorry.
No worries, darling. No worries. I need my kacamata plus, but it's hard to change it all the time. So okay, if I make a mistake, y'all gotta tell me. Okay, so noun is achievement. The verb is achieve. The boxes that are blue, basically we don't have any, but we can make one here though. We could say achievable. What do you think of that?
Yeah, achievable. Achieved with ed.
Yeah, we can make not achieved, but achievable.
Okay.
So that is possible to put in as an adjective, but not an adverb. These, no. So let me show this then. Yeah. So these basically are the ones that are not filled out. Yeah. Okay. Like that. Okay, now we continue with confidence. Someone else. Okay, let me just spin my wheel of fortunate names. Aldi. Aldi, good morning.
Good day,
Yeah, hi. Can you do confidence, please? The whole row with the verb, adjective, and adverb. Go ahead.
wait. I think the phone version can write, Miss.
You don't need to write. I will do it. But I want you to tell
Oh,
me. What is the verb?
confide.
Very good. Awesome. And what is the adjective?
Co confi
This one.
confident. Oh, yeah.
Ah, do you know the adverb? It's with Lee. Add Lee.
Wait.
It's like the adjective, but you add Lee.
Confidently.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, now we go to someone else. We go to fascinated. I want to ask Alfie. Galang. Galang, are you here? Galang, no? Okay. Okay, we go to someone else. Can I ask Matthew? Matthew, no? Oh, so sad. Okay, let me ask Adisha.
Yes, Miss.
Hi, can you please do fascinated? What is the noun?
Fascination.
Yep. And then the verb?
Fascinate.
Yeah. And what about, yeah, there's no adverb, so basically we got it there. Awesome. Okay, I want to ask Yoni, intensity.
Yeah, Miss.
What's the verb?
Intense.
Intensify is the verb. Do you know the adjective?
I don't know.
No. Can you please write down what you see right now? Tolong dicatat ya di bukunya. Intense. And then the adverb would be intently. Guys, please write it down if you don't have it. Yeah, it's important for you to know. Okay, interaction. What is the verb of interaction? I'd like to ask Angelica Virgin. Angelica, can you tell me the verb form of interaction?
Interact.
Very good. Interact. Okay, awesome. Now, what about the adjective?
Interactive.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, and what about the adverb?
Interactively.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, C is mostly with those leaves. Yeah, guys, if I have a spelling mistake, let me know. I'm not using my plus glasses, so I might see things wrong. Okay, that brings us to maximize. The noun for maximize. Nicole, can you answer that for me, Nicole?
Yes, Miss.
What is the noun for maximize?
Maximization.
Oh, I like that idea. That's smart. But we would just actually say maximum. That would be correct, but I find your idea interesting to add ion, how did you say it? Maximization. Ah, that's interesting. Let me look that one up. I'm gonna write it down. Maximization. Who knows if that is also correct, yeah? Never heard of that, but that's interesting. Okay, what is the adjective?
The adjective is maximal.
Almost. So we could just say maximized. And then I put a cross here, but actually we have one that I could put here. Let me write it here then, yeah. Actually, we can put this. This one does work maximally. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Resilience. Okay, the adjective for resilience. What about Marcel? Marcel? No, Marcel? Ferro? Ferro?
Yeah, miss. Yeah, miss.
Hi, Ferro. Can you answer this one? What's the adjective of resilience?
Sabar, miss. I don't know the answer, miss.
Okay, that is resilient. You can actually just Google it. Yes, yes. Resilient. Do you happen to know adverb?
But
It's with Lee.
resiliently.
Yeah, resiliently. Yeah, thank you. Stimulation. Okay, I want to ask Michaela Grace. Michaela Grace,
Yes.
stimulation, the verb?
Stimulate.
Yeah, stimulate. What about the adjective?
Stimulated.
Yeah. Guys, this is, you can just Google it. Yeah, it's all there. Oh, awesome. Thank you very much. Now, I'd like to ask Megan, can you tell me what this one is? When the adjective is voluntary or involuntary, here you have the prefix in, means not. Voluntary, not voluntary. Yeah. What is the noun? Megan, do you know?
The noun for
Yeah. For voluntary.
volunteer.
Yeah, you can just say, I am a volunteer. Or an always and the always go with the noun. So you could say, I am a volunteer. Okay, so that is the noun. Can
Noun.
also be, it can also be volunteering, but then you do not start with I am, but that is a possibility to use. Volunteering is a very good job to do. Or volunteering is a opportunity to can. Okay,
How
then
about
it's huh?
I thought the verb is volunteering.
The verb is volunteer.
Volunteer.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be I volunteer or I am volunteering. Could also be with ing if it's the continuous tense. Yeah?
Yeah.
Correct. And it can also just be volunteer. Then the adjective voluntarily, involuntarily, and then if we're talking about the adverb would be, do you know?
Same with the adjective.
It's but with ly.
Yeah.
Voluntarily.
Involuntarily.
Yeah. Wes. Yeah. Hooray. You guys got that? Okay, make sure that you got that correct. So remember, noun, verb, adjective, verb, adverb. An adjective modifies a noun, so it gives explanation or added information about the noun. So we always use a or an in front of a noun, and then it will be singular, only one. That's called indefinite articles, and the definite article is the. The can be for plural and singular. Yeah. And then adverbs modify a verb. Okay, they give us information of verb. So if you want to make sure, you can always add or an and then use the adjective with a noun, and then you can see adjective and noun doesn't work enough. Hey, that's not an adjective. So try to put a noun next to it. And for an adverb, try to put a verb next to it to see whether it works or not. But as you can see, adjectives almost always have ly, and adjectives have a lot of able or und or ed or if. And nouns, they either months or yon. There's a lot of those, yeah? Okay. Any questions? No? Remember that this is POS, part of speech, which is a word family, meaning these words are all connected, like when we have the word intensity, intensify, intense, and intently. This is a word family. The base form of the word is intense. Yeah? And then it's created in different words like interaction, interact, interactive, and interactively. So the base form is interact, and we just add the suffix ion, if, or li. Yeah, so it is changed in a different part of speech, but it's a word family because it's all correlated and connected, and in meaning it's also correlated. Great. Okay, now facing forwards, we're going to try to use the part of speech, the words, into the correct part of speech, fitting the conversation. Okay, I'm going to point that out for you, and please check your answers whether you have them correct. Okay, so good morning, doctor. I have newborn identical twins, and I want to make sure I treat them differently because I want them each to achieve, yeah? Achieve their
Yeah.
full potential. Can you advise me? Raising twins is anyone?
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's a fascinating experience, and of course, this experience must be very awesome, intense for you, because even one baby is a lot of work. Two is double the trouble, as they say. Now, every infant needs individual attention, so try to
Maximize.
Nice.
well, y'all are very good at this. The time you can spend with each other. That way you can develop a different kind of
Interaction.
awesome interaction with each twin. Is it like to, but I'm not feeling very
Confident.
yeah, confident. I'm worried that other people will treat them both the same. After all, they look identical. When people see them, they'll always assume they have the same personality and the same skills. I suppose that's an
Involuntary.
yeah, very good. The prefix in refers to nod. Okay, note this, please. If you haven't done that yet in your textbook, do that so right now. And then we continue because I have to erase it if I want to continue. That's annoying, but that is just how it goes. Okay, so we were at involuntary. Now I continue perhaps, but try not to be too concerned. Babies are very resilient, they're very strong, you know, like they overcome all kinds of obstacles. As they grow, make sure you understand how they're different and what each one is interested in. It's important to
Stimulate.
awesome, their individual interests and talents. And in the meantime, try to find someone who can
volunteer.
volunteer to help you get things done you need to take care of yourself too. Look at these babies, aren't they cute? They're the cutest. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I hope you had this correctly. You can see here how the words with the correct point of view, part of speech fits into the conversation. Are there any questions? No? Okay. We can continue. Awesome. Now here we see we have the expansion still of words. We're looking at 3 columns. Some people are born geniuses, 1 inherit, 2 aptitude, 3 on their own, 4 predisposed, 5 inborn. Everyone is full of potential, 6 acquire, 7 influence, 8 in actual fact, 9 pressure, 10 take up. And geniuses are born and made, 11 interact, 12 complex, 13 either or. I want to point out that it is either or and neither nor. So neither nor, either or. 14 is motivate and 15 is heredity. Great. So now I'm just going to put in the words, the letters, the numbers. Boy, the numbers in real quick for you. If you can tell me what the answer is, you are free to say it. What's this one? What's A? Anyone?
A is inborn.
Yeah, 5. You can just see the numbers. Okay. Inborn is something you have had naturally since birth. By themselves, what is that?
On their own.
On their own is by themselves. Likely to behave in a particular way. That is predisposed. Yeah, number 4. What about get from one of your parents?
Read.
Number 1.
Yeah, inherit, number 1. Ability or skill?
2.
Aptitude.
Yeah, very good. Aptitude. Yeah. Now we continue. Begin doing a job or activity.
10.
10. Yeah. Develop or learn. So 10 is take up, yeah. Develop or learn a skill.
Acquire.
6.
Yeah, acquire. Very good. Affected by someone else.
11.
7.
7.
Influence. Very good. In truth, in reality.
8.
In factual.
Yeah, very
In
good.
fact.
In factual. In actual fact, in factual act. What's wrong with me? Attempt to make someone do something. What would that be? The last one? In the row 9, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pressure. I feel pressured right now. Pressure. A lot of pressure. Connect, work together. What is that, guys?
Interact. 11.
Yeah, that's interact. And then push and stimulate.
14.
14. Motivate, right? Difficult to understand or deal with.
Complex.
12. Complex. Yeah. Choice between 2 options. 13. Yeah,
Either
which
or.
is either or. Yeah. And genetic makeup, last but not least.
Yeah. 15.
15. Heredity. Okay, I hope you got this correct. So this is just really the words and the definitions of the words. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna continue because we still have several pages to cover for today's review. So you had to read this article about school's financial challenge. Yeah. Seabury Middle School News, well, has it growing very large in the last few years. Some are doing well, what awards and so on. But the school doesn't have enough funds to invest to improve quality of the education for all the students. So this is a problem now. There is a group that thinks money should be spent on the highest achieving students. And another group believes that money is better spent on a larger number of the weaker students. Yeah, so now the question here is, what do you think? Do you think that the school should invest the money in the strongest students or on the weakest students? And can you tell me what the benefits are? Okay, who would like to respond? Anyone?
I think I would like to respond.
Go ahead.
Okay. In my opinion,
Yeah.
the funds should be spent to the high achieving student because with that of the decision, the weak student can be motivated
Yes.
and try to do better at school, and from so they know that if they're being good and get good scores, they will get the funds. I think right like that. And also the students that are good will keep on going, like keep the good jobs.
Exactly. Very good. Yeah, agreed. So as I agree with what you stated, Megan. And if you look here at what I'm putting on right now, not so neat though. Look how this goes. So we're focusing on peel. So as Megan just did, she stated her point. So that was her opinion. Then she explained her opinion with the reasons why she believes that. Now, Megan can add an example or evidence from a fact that she knows, something that she knows or heard or read, or an example. You could add that to strengthen your explanation. And then the linking. The linking is where you basically wrap up your statement or your opinion by linking it back to the beginning point that you made. So make sure that in your expression of opinion, you always have peel going on. Okay? So yeah, state what you mean, explain why you have that opinion, give an example or some evidence, and then link it back. So you always, you know, you round it up. You always end it by saying, yeah, so that is the reason why I believe that so. Yeah? That is very strong if you do that. So remember that you always got your peel going. Very good, Megan. Thank you. Okay, does everybody understand the idea of peel? You got that point?
Yes.
I assume you all do, yeah? Okay, cool, very cool. Okay, smart people. Okay, that means that we go to the grammar for today. Our grammar is the passive voice. Now, you already have this also in your ebook. I already gave you a summary. You're very welcome. And there it shows clearly the difference between the active voice and the passive voice. And basically, I gave you a grid just from examples how it works, because actually for the passive voice you only add the verb be and you only add the past participle. So the verb be, just to make sure that you remember this, it's important to remember that we're talking about the verb be. Yeah? It has different forms. Okay, the verb be has different forms. So if we're talking about the present, yeah, then we're talking about am is are, yeah. If we're talking about the past, we're talking about was, were. If we're talking about continuous, yeah, continuous. So that's the continuous tense, whether that is the present or the past, yeah. So you use being. So that can be the present continuous and it can also be the past continuous, okay? And when we're talking about the perfect tense, now the perfect tenses can be the past perfect, but can also be the present perfect. Then it will be been. And when we're talking about the future tense, then the verb be is be, remembering that you do at will. Okay? So the verb be has different forms, okay? So MSR was, were, being, been, and will be. This is very important to remember because that is what basically is the only difference, that you add the right verb form. And another thing that you need to add is the past participle, also very important. Past participle basically equals with verb 3, people. Yeah, verb 3. So if you think about what is the past participle again, I forgot. That is the same as verb 3. Remember verb 1, verb 2, verb 3. Present tense, past tense, and then the perfect tense is verb 3 is the past participle. So remember this, okay? So whenever you have an active, look at the active sentence. In what tense is the active sentence? For example, this one, many parents encourage their children to explore different interests. This is the present tense. Means that you have to use the verb be in the present tense, either am, is, or are. So in this case, they use are. You see that? Okay, so it is very important that you look at what tense form you're using. Now here, for example, my parents did not allow me to play sports. That is the past tense. So you either use was or were. In this case, I was not allowed, you see? But which one you use depends. If it is I is am, it is he, she, it is, is it we, you, they is are, yeah? Was is singular and the word is plural. So it depends a little bit. Now, does that make sense? Awesome. Then I'm going to delete this right now because I don't have enough space. I'm going to give you a clear example by writing it down here. Let's not use capital letters. Yeah. Okay. The students study math. Let's keep it to this sentence. Okay, the students study math. What do we see here? The students. Oh my goodness, I don't like this. Aku kesel. I made a mistake, okay? We're gonna redo this. Miss Sylvie, how could you? And nobody says anything. Students.
We're waiting.
Y'all are quiet. You're just allowing me to make my huge mistake. Why? Okay, students, that's one. Change PC yellow. Study. I like this, guys. This is fun, man. We can do, you know, colors and all. Oh, this is so awesome. Ooh, math. Okay, 3 parts. Who can tell me what the students is? Subject, of course. And then study is?
The verb.
Yeah, and math?
Object.
Awesome beans. Good. Wow, we got those settled. Sylvie, go up a little bit. Okay, so subject, verb, and object. Okay, now this is an active sentence. An active sentence, we're focused on the performer. Okay, so we call that mostly the performer, the one who does it. And then the object often is called the receiver, or it can also be the achiever, anything. It's the one that receives the thing, or that achieves it or does it, or yeah, gets it done or gets it. Yeah, that's the object. Basically, often we refer to it that way. Now, what happens when you're making it into the passive voice is you start your sentence basically with the object. So the reason why we use the passive voice is that it's not important who did it. The emphasis lies not on who did it. The emphasis lies on what we got. Okay? Sometimes we want to use an active sentence because we want to emphasize and point out who did it. That must be important then. But if it's not important that who did it, and we're just focusing on the act that was done or received, that's where we use the passive voice. Now, mostly in academic English, we use the passive voice. We have a combination of active and passive, but a lot of passive. In general English, we mostly just use the active voice, okay? So now, what is it gonna look like if we're going to change this? So if we start with the object, means math, right? So we start with math. Now we have to add the verb be, y'all. And since this sentence is in the present tense, we need to use the verb be in the present tense, which is?
Or studied by.
Yeah, you can do are for plural or is. Math is only one, so we use?
Oh, yeah.
Is. Math is. Now, the main verb here is study. That must change to the verb 3. That is, as Megan already said, studied. So that is the verb 3. The past participle form of study is studied. Is studied. Basically, if I put my period here, done. Math is studied. Correct. Done. Sentence is done. Fine. But
Okay.
if, yeah, you don't have to necessarily use the by phrase. But if you say, no, I want to know, I want to put down who did it, then we use by, and then we say by the students, period, and then we're done. You see that? So this is how basically how the sentence changes from the active to the passive. And you see here that we add the verb be in the present form. And why in the present form? Because the active sentence is in the present tense. So the verb be that we have to add has to be added in the present tense. But miss, this is in the past, it's studied. Yes, it is. But what determines what tense a sentence has is the first verb. The first verb in the sentence will determine what the tense is of a sentence. So in this case, if we have is, that's the present tense. Studied is not the past, it's just the perfect, it's just the past participle. So remember that you have to add the verb be. Which one you add depends on the active sentence. If the active sentence is in the past, then your verb be will be in the past, which will be was or were. In this case, it's the present, so it is because math is one, counted as one, so it's is. And remember that the first verb is going to change into the past participle, which equals a verb 3. So study becomes studied. Y'all agree and understand?
Yes.
Is that clear? Because I did color coding, people. I used green and turquoise and yellow and red and blue. Hooray! Look at my drawing. I'm almost proud of it. Okay, that's a bit too much. Okay, can I erase it? No, I have to erase it. People screenshot it first. I gotta erase it again. Ah. Okay, I'm gonna erase it, yeah? So you see here that it depends on what it will become on what the active is like. So you can just read through this, yeah? So why do we use it? Well, we use it to shift focus from the agent, which is the performer, to the action or the receiver. We use it when you do not know who the performer is, or of the action you don't know who it is. So it's far easier to use the passive voice. And you use the passive voice when you don't want to mention. It's not about the performer. So that's why you do it. So you either want to focus on the action and the receiver, or you don't know who it is, the performer is, and you just don't want to focus on the performer. That's why we use it, passive voice. A lot used in academic English. Yeah, okay, then go to the next page. Let's look that up. We're gonna go quick. How much time do we have left? Boy, time is never my friend. Let's go quick in this one because we still have a few pages to go through. Oh, wait. Okay, so here you had to basically do it, practice it. So here you have the verb captivate, and it has to be in the present perfect tense. So audiences around the world. So present perfect means have and past participle, have or has. But in this case, audiences, yeah, audiences is the plural form. So have. Has is for singular and have is for plural. So have been
Captivated.
Captivated, exactly. So been is for the past, for the perfect sense. Yeah, it's the verb be for the perfect tenses is been, right? Look at your list. And then here we're looking at show and future. So will
Be shown.
shown. Yeah, shown because the verb 3 or past participle of show is shown. No and pass. Is there anyone else who would like to try? No and pass. So the past is was or were. Shakuntala Devi. It's singular, so has known. Okay, go a little bit faster, yeah, guys, yeah, because if I wait for you to answer, it's a bit long for now. So we go to give and past perfect. Past perfect means had plus verb 3, yeah, not have or has, but had. Had. Yeah, so we have had, and then the verb be in the perfect tense is been, right? Been.
Been
And then
given.
give in the verb 3 is
Given.
given. Yes. Reach and the past tense, so it's either was or were. Which one is it? So we have to look at the subject first. She is singular, so she means was. Yeah. And then the verb 3 of teach is
Taught.
taught. Yeah. Awesome beans. Okay. Got this, people? I'm gonna erase it. And it's so annoying. We've got to erase it again. Oh my goodness. Doesn't fit on the page. Okay. Continue. Here we go to consider in present. Let's look at the human chess machine. So that's one. So we will use is then, yeah? If you're not sure if it is plural or singular, you have to look at the subject that is mentioned before it, yeah? The human, or if you look at Jose Rao Capablanca, Graupera, what name? The human chess machine, that is one. So we use is. Consider in the verb 3 is?
Considered.
Yeah, consider. There we go. No, and the past tense here. Let's look at the subject. Unlike other famous players, he. This is the subject after the comma. He. So that's singular, right? So, and this one is past. So it is was or were. Which one?
Was.
Was. Awesome, people. And then verb 3 of no is was. No. Yeah. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I'm happy. Okay, now we continue straight up here. This is the same thing. We use the word use and the present, yes, and even letters G and E. This is a plural form. How do we do this? This would be are, yeah, because G and E is a plural form, so are used. Remember, the first verb shows whether a sentence is what the tense of the sentence is. So it's are used. Okay, it brings us to the next page. Number 2, we've got can separate, prevent. So yes, Schenk believes that nature and nurture can't, it stays the same, right? And then it's the present tense. Now, what you need to understand is whenever you use the models can or could, you add be. Does that make sense? Whenever you use the models can or could or can, you have to add the verb be as be. Yeah, it doesn't change. You do not add another verb. The verb be that you add is be. Okay, so the answer to this would be can't. Can't what?
Be separated.
Yes, very good. Can't be separated. Yeah. Exactly. Can't be separated. Very good. Basically, that's the only difference that it makes. Yeah. So that is just for the models. You do not have am, is, are, or whatever. What you put in is just be. Yeah. And also remember that sometimes you have the one that is going to. You can also use going to. You also use be. So if you use can or could, you add be. Or when you do going to, you also add be. For example, if you have John is going to make a speech, then you would say a speech is going to be made by John. So whether you use can or could, or you use going to, you have to add be. So the verb be the verb form of be that you use is be itself. Okay? Awesome. Okay, now we are at number 3, design past perfect. So it's past, so it is had
Been.
been genetically
Designed.
designed. Why is everybody else quiet? Okay. Megan, thank you for your help. I'm gonna ask Michelle, Angelina. Michelle, are you here? No, Michelle? See, if I have to wait, it takes sometimes a bit too long. Michaela?
Yes, miss.
Hi, can you do number 4 for me? Think and then in the past. So the past verb be is was or were.
Yes.
You look at here, people is plural, so it is?
Were.
Yeah, were, and then can you use the verb be of think?
Thought. Think.
Very good. Thought. Awesome. That's good. Well done. Now we go to expose and present perfect. I want to ask Nicholas William. Nicholas William. Nicholas, are you there?
Yes, miss.
Oh, your voice is super tiny. Okay, you speak louder. Can you do that one? Number 5?
Okay.
Oh, wow. there
Right.
you are.
Jay has been exposed to all kinds of music instruction.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. Very good. Has been exposed. Cool. Would you like to do number 6 as well?
Me?
Yep.
Okay. Right now he is being contacted by musicians all over the world.
Very good. Thank you. Guys, just have the bravery and courage to speak up, yeah, because I'd love to hear your answer. And even if it's wrong, that is not a problem. The point is to try. Okay, note this down, people. Make sure you get this. I'm going to continue with 7, means I have to clear it, yeah? So we continue with 7 and 8. Okay, anyone who would like to try 7? Any volunteers? Okay, then I want to ask Nadia. Nadia Janice, are you here?
Yes.
Hi, can you do number 7 for me? Invite in the future.
Yes, I heard that he will be invited.
Very good. Yeah. Will be invited. Awesome. Can you also do number 8 for me?
Yeah. You shouldn't be intimidated.
Okay, awesome. This shows so far that most of you really get it. Be intimidated. Awesome. Yeah, great. Any questions? No? Smart people that is. I'm happy. Okay, we come to the last part. Real quick, I go over this. Bear with me for another 5 minutes. Pronunciation. Okay, in pronunciation, we often reduce, and you can also call that contract auxiliary verbs. So those auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. So we're looking at have, the verb be, is, are, has, all those. So this is basically where we contract. So instead of saying he is, we say he's, I have, I've, you know. And then you think like this, how about MSR? Yeah, that is even also contracted. He is, so he's, are, we are, we're, for example, have, it becomes apostrophe VE. I have, I've, for example. Now, it is not good to do this in your writing. So I tell you, for your writing, do not use contractions, okay? But for speaking, we do. So basically here, when you look at it, let me just really show that real quick. Basically the auxiliary verbs that are reduced in here, if you listen to it, so you must have listened to it because you had to. The United States has become fascinated by prodigy. So basically has is very much, it's connected to the last word, or Americans are all aware. So here you hear, if you would have heard and listened to the audio, that the R is kind of connected, blanket, yeah, with the word Americans. And here critics have warned. They don't say critics have warned, they say critics have warned. You hardly hear the have because it is contracted and connected to the words before it. And here you see researchers are interested, so they the word are is kind of connected to the word researches. Yeah, now you have done that already, so that basically brings us to a very simple practice here that we can try. Let me just annotate that for you and you check your answers. So here, while you were listening, you would have listened, people are, and then you heard the contraction of apostrophe re. So however people are like that, that's what you heard here. It's like connected in that way. And here with the media, you would hear the media have, and then with the apostrophe VE, kind of goes like the media cold, like that. So it becomes a very shortened version. And they have, so you would have the same apostrophe VE, and they have always encouraged. Okay. Again, I say, do not do that in your writing, but in natural speaking, that is mostly done like that, that those auxiliaries basically are connected to the word that comes before it. And then here the public has, so that would be apostrophe S. The publics responded like that. And then last, some critics, we have, also again, apostrophe VE, the critics of cult, like that. So here you can see how basically those auxiliary, which are called helping verbs, are connected in pronunciation to the word that comes before it, that in speaking, but not in writing. Yeah. And last but not least, it shows here the speaking skill, stating your opinion. So how do you offer an opinion? Yeah, when you want to freely express what you think. Remember that it is very good to be opinionated, and it's good for you to express what you think about things. We always do so with respect. Though, remember that the way you speak should always be respectful towards other people's opinion. Everybody can have their own opinion. Respect others' opinion. And state your own opinion also with respect. You do not always have to agree, but make sure that how you show disagreement is also with respect. So here are some examples on how you could start off offering an opinion or agreeing or disagreeing. You can even disagree direct. So then you would just say, I do not agree, no, in my opinion, you know. But you can also disagree more indirect, which sounds a little bit more polite. And how do you start off if you want to show that you do not want to give an opinion? Here are the examples, as you already watched in the video and tried at home. Another thing you could do is report someone else's opinion. Let's say you don't have an opinion, but you want to state something, then you could even use someone else's opinion. So introducing the opinion of someone else. For example, here, David Schenk does not think there is a dividing line between high achievements and genius. He does not believe it is that important. So you could do that. Either you give your own opinion, you offer your opinion, you agree, you disagree, you do not give an opinion, or you decide to report someone else's opinion. Like here, composer Sam Simon believes that Jay Greenberg is the most important musical prodigy in the last 200 years, and Scott Pilly couldn't agree more. He thinks Jay is amazing. See that? So here, the writer is stating someone else's opinion. Okay, are there any questions so far? No? Cool. Now, real quick, one more time. Remember, you are in week 6. After this lesson, you're going to do your post-test. Remember, latest to submit it is 11 o'clock tonight. Please record your speaking test. Means that it is a time of recording. Practice it, record it, and you have to upload it inside the Google Form link for your log, which is in your ebook for listening and speaking. Go to the contents, Unit 1. At the end of Unit 1, you will see that announcement. Your post-study is exactly what we did today. Do your ebook for listening and speaking, the activities for focus on speaking, and your pre-study. Watch the video I already sent you yesterday. Do the activities for writing, focus on writing in your reading and writing textbook. You guys are all set. Anything else? No? Then I assume you all got it. Yeah? Okay then, God bless you. Have a great week. I will see you again next week. If there is something that comes up that you forgot, you're confused about, guys, you can also make a study group. We do not meet physically. Remember that. We do not meet physically, but you can meet virtually. You can make a study group. You can do it either through WhatsApp or anything else. There are so many ways that you can virtually connect with your friends. Make a study group. You can do your journal together. You can do your log together. You can work on things together. You can ask, maybe even do the video together. You know, in any way you can connect virtually would help. You know, it makes you more excited to do it. It's more fun, but also you might help each other. You know, what you don't know, your friend might know. Remember also that you can just Google everything. You can look everything up. This is your time to do a lot of research and looking things up, which is totally allowed because I can't see what you're doing. Okay? Yeah, what I'm asking of you is not perfection. What I'm asking of you is effort to try, do your best. I appreciate that a lot. Okay then, that's it. See you next week. God bless you.